Welcome back to Step Up Talks with Laney. Today is Life is a Student discussion on time management and to touch on the topics of time management, distractions, how to handle those distractions.
Yes, now the first question goes to Stephanie. Why do students waste time?
Students waste time maybe because they don't have anything to read. Like me, sometimes I waste a lot of time looking at my book because I don't know what to read. Another reason may be your peers, your classmates. Napenda kucheza, so you find yourself playing with them. Yeah, way to jump.
Me, I'd say that for my distraction is mostly with the opposite sex. I really get distracted a lot by them because it's nakwanga normal msee, the generation msee, everybody goes through that. Asava, Killian, Abdulrahman here, we all go through that. It's being Kamal. So that's one for me, and another one is phones and laptops and Instagram. Who doesn't know Instagram? Yeah. So me, I find those like a big distraction for me, and napatanga ikiwa ngumu kusoma, and yeah, that's from my own perspective. Killing my G.
Uh, People waste time because reading is boring. Because why should you do something boring when there's something interesting to do? So you find yourself being distracted easily because basically what reading is boring. So you'd rather play or do something else, something like that. Basically.
I think students waste time because they keep postponing their reading times because they think that they have more time, but they don't, which is the mistake that they make, which leads to time wastage. Asava?
Yeah, oh yes. I think people waste time because they have not planned on what they want to do for the specific period of time. So they tend to waste the time because, like Stephanie said, they do not have anything to do because they are not planned. So, yeah, first to come out.
Now, before Kamal says anything, I'm hearing planning. How do you plan your time? Maybe you can start from Kamal.
From personal experience, I tend to sit down at the start of the week and plan out my time and the topics that I plan to do during that week. And once you fulfill that timetable and what you plan to do that whole week, and you fulfilled every part of it, you feel really good about yourself, right? The whole like once you have a strict timetable to follow, distractions don't come as easily because you know your goal and you're gonna do what you need to do to achieve it.
That's very interesting. Jeff, give us an idea of your plan, maybe for the past 1 week
Mm-hmm.
or for today only.
Me, weekly I've planned a timetable for my studies. Where I wake up early, I read like for 1 hour, then go for break or for breakfast. Then after that we have classes. But for this week we have had examinations, so hiyo period ya kusoma during the classes nitakuwa nayo so much, and then after school I do some reading and prep. So I think, as from Kamala said, I think it's from your own perspective and from your own motivation of how you want to read. Yeah, if you don't feel like reading, just kill it.
Yes, Kamal.
I think a major problem with students is like why they tend to get distracted is because of their attitude towards reading. A lot of studying and school is like associated with a negative attitude, so like playing with your friends football, that's like a better thing to do. So right now, if I had the choice to play with friends or like sit down and read, I mean it would be really hard to read because of the attitude that's fixed with reading and schooling. But then once you switch your attitude to something positive, that you enjoy reading, that you know your goal, you know what you're trying to achieve, it becomes much easier and the distractions kind of fade away, and you're just going to do everything in your power to try and achieve your goal.
Mm.
Also, sometimes when you read and your teacher is time for exams, so if they use the word chopi, kanawewe, because they've been seeing you reading. So you tend to hide when you're reading. And that's why sometimes you also don't want to read.
Now you're bringing up a very interesting perspective of peer pressure. So, Jessica, How do you deal with peer pressure?
Honestly, I don't experience this as much. I don't let what people say get to me. So if someone wants to say something about me reading, they can go ahead. It'll just fly over my head. But I think that's what people should do. They shouldn't let things get to them. They should just continue, because in that exam room, you're not going to be sitting with the person that called you a choppy. It's just going to be you and your exam paper. Yeah.
Asava, how do you deal with peer pressure?
For me, it's very simple. Personally, I do not entertain peer pressure. I'm a very assertive young man, so when I hear, I know what I came to school to do, so my peers don't influence what I choose to do, or if I need to study, or yeah. So peer pressure personally does not disturb me.
Jeff talked about relationship being part of the distractions that prevent you from studying. Killian, how true is this?
Sir, I have to say it's 100% true. It's not 99.9, because first of all, there's so many factors which add up to the relationship, yeah, affecting your education, because there's first of all is peer pressure. You find that most of your friends hanging out with girls, you're there, you're trying to read, people are looking at you like, hey, bro, what's wrong? So yeah, you find yourself, even you crawling into that distraction. You find yourself swerving along, girls talking to boys, talking to girls. Yeah. So
But
it's something. It's a lot of peer pressure. It's something. Peer pressure affects very many things like this. Yeah.
but me, I find it as a choice. Okay, you get distracted, yeah, it's true. You get to these hormones, they are more stronger, you can't control them, but I think it's possible. I think it's a choice in my own perspective, in my own thinking. Me on anger too, it's your decision, because like us, you're here, like most of us are 11, it's our choice. If you want to get distracted, you have to. It's your life. You say you're living alone, you're not living. I'm not living with Killian in the next 5 months. I may not see him, he may go to US, I may stay in Kenya. So I find it as a choice. But for peer pressure, me ni simwani sana. Me, I never care what people talk about me. I just live my life. You live alone. Yeah, so yeah.
Yes, for me peer pressure ilikuwa imenibeba sana, yani it took me so much, but this time the only thing I did just to don't go to people so much, just to stay alone sometimes, think about life and those things. Yeah.
That is very interesting. Now, Jessica talked about procrastination, planning and then pushing it forward, or wanting to do something and pushing it to the next day, the next hour, the next minute. Stephanie, how do you deal with procrastination?
I tend to force myself to just, I tell myself I can't move it to tomorrow or the next day. I beat the time I think, when I'm thinking actually that thought, I just read, because I know if I push it, because I've done that so many times, I think I wasted my whole year time saying that, oh, I'll understand the system, I'll read tomorrow, I'll be better, and it's not taking me anywhere. So yeah, I just deal with it when I think about it.
Killian, how do you deal with procrastination from your end?
Um, I deal with procrastination by planning myself. So I have to tell myself, if I plan something, I have to do it, because because no one, not someone else who planned it for me. I'm the one who did it myself. So I'm the one who's supposed to do what I've planned at the right time, at the right moment. Yeah, basically.
Jessica, as we come to the end of the session, how would you advise your colleagues?
I think that you should just have a plan that you stick by every week. or every 2 weeks. Just something that you can follow and always look back to in case you're getting off the path, and that you shouldn't push things. Just do it when the timetable tells you to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, and for me as well, I think that there is always time for everything, and that everything comes in its own time. Yeah, so if it's time for, let's say, preps, it's time for preps. So mm, yeah, avoid distraction and just focus on what you had you had planned for the day, and yeah.
What advice I'll give to the youth out there is that I've realized one thing in life is just that you live alone. In the next coming years, you always see yourself as being alone. Like I've said again, this guy will marry his own wife. I'll marry my own. I'll have my own kids. It will be sometimes out tunaonana most of the times. So always look at it at a perspective as you are alone. You don't live with many people. If you look and you keep on saying that mimi naishi na Kamal, you will never go anywhere in life. Me, that's what I've realized. For the youth out there, if you're having trouble going to read, or like unaona watu wengine wanasoma wanataka kusoma, just always think about yourself. Don't think about whether I'm reading or whether you see Jessica is reading and you won't read. Read it because of yourself. Na ujue ni maisha yako. Ukianguka umeanguka peke yako. You die alone. You cry, I won't come and cry with you. I won't shed tears with you. You be happy alone with your family. So always think, not said to be selfish, but just think about yourself. Then you always live alone in life. So yeah, thank you. My name is Minor. Thank you so much for the video.
And never lose hope. Even if you are failed in education, you have something else that you are good at. So always never lose hope. Just
Something to add on to that is we've talked about procrastination, distractions, and we're not saying that this isn't normal. It's natural for everyone to procrastinate, to be distracted. Everyone goes through these things. We're just saying that be strong in the heart, know what you want, know your goals, and work as hard as you can to achieve them, and they will become true.
Yeah, true.
And